I knew your mother passed away from cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was 26 days total. And you were playing.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you?
So that was, luckily, thank God every day. So that was my first year of really getting a chance to play. So that was the We Believe season. So 06, 07 was my first, like, I'm in the league in 02, 03. My first year really playing was with that Golden State team where I was in Ottawa. I know I was going to be playing basketball or going to try to play football. So she saw that one year in the Bay where I was from, technically. They were in Sacramento, so they got to see every game. And then literally the following season, November 1st, when the season used to start, she died in the first month of the season. Yeah, it was quick. But some people say, you know, like, would I rather see my mom like decline and deteriorate and lose a bunch of weight and not look nothing like herself? Or would I rather, you know, this thing been so powerful because if she was going to go regardless, still what she had was uncurable, was I glad it was fast? So just like, obviously you don't want to lose your mom, you only lose one mom, but I definitely don't think I would have want to see my mom deteriorate and not be able to walk and not be able to talk and lose a bunch of weight. Like I would have just, I didn't want that to be the memory of her. So, you know, unfortunately she was taken fast, but I almost feel like that was kind of better, knowing day to day how much pain she was in, but then like she was still looked like herself when she passed.
What kind of cancer was it?
It was, man, kidney, liver, it was all in here.
So it ate her up.
But by the time it was on her spine, by the time they took a x-ray, because it was crazy enough, we were actually going to sue Kaiser until we found out how often they get sued for malpractice. She had been to the doctor 3 times in a year and a half, explaining that she's always tired, she always feels sick, and they never took no scans, no blood, no nothing. So one day she had a mild heart attack, and they got her feeling a little bit better. My dad was wheelchairing her out, and luckily they ran into the doctor that did my dad's knee replacement. And he came and spoke to my parents, and my mom's like, you know, I just had a minor heart attack today, and I'm already leaving the hospital, but I still don't feel good. And like, well, let's go take an x-ray. By the time they took an x-ray, there was so much cancer. They said in her x-ray it was blurry, and she had 2 giant softball lumps in her chest. But it was all the stuff that was in here that ended up taking her.
How did she tell you?
On the phone, crying. Remember, we were playing a preseason game in Seattle back when the Sonics were there. And I remember right when I got on the plane, she had called me and she's like, are you sitting down? I'm like, yeah, Mom, we just got in. We just won a preseason game. I'm sitting down in my seat. What's up? I have cancer. Like, what? And she's like, I was like, oh, it's going to be okay. I'll get you over to UCLA. And she's like, no, baby. Like, I'm stage 4 and 4 different cancers. Like, this is it. Like, holy shit. And literally it was 26 days later.
How old was she?
She was just turned 50. And, you know, I'm 44 now, and I'm getting closer. Like, I couldn't imagine having something and being gone from my kids in the next 5 years. It'd be crazy.
How did you handle that?
I don't know. I was the rock. You know, to this day, which is crazy, I still never cried. I've still never been able to cry. But I'm the oldest of 3, so my sister's 2 years younger than me, and my brother's 2 years younger than her, and then my dad took it really hard. I think the guilt of who he was as a partner and a father at the time really ate him up. But I think, and I always tell people, I feel like I lost my mom and gained my dad, because that was the first time I ever saw my dad cry, hug me and tell me he loves me. You know, and one thing too about my mom was, as I said, I was fighting a lot when I was growing up. So when we moved to Sacramento, maybe within the first year, my mom started coming to my school and kind of being a yard duty on the break, because I was getting called nigger this, nigger that. Kids were messing with me and I didn't get it. My mom was trying to console me. My dad said to call you nigger, fight him. So I started listening to my dad, obviously, and I was getting in trouble. So my mom came and kind of volunteered at first and ended up getting hired and then transitioned into special ed. So she loved children. Like, she was a special ed teacher before she died. And it was just like the stuff she went through and put up with, but she just loved kids. And it's crazy because, you know, they say in death comes life. So literally a year after my mom died, the twins were born. Same month and everything. They were supposed to go, if their mom would have went full term, it would have been right around the time my mom died. But they came, you know, they came 6 weeks early. So.
But your mom didn't
get a chance to meet him.
Does that weigh on you?
It does. When I think about obviously how much she loved kids and how amazing the twins are, and then obviously, you know, all my, you know, kids to learn. I would say it's not even in a bad way, But one of the most challenging things I think I've had to learn how to be is a stepdad. Because it's different. Because I'm a free willer. I cuss when I speak, and I don't mean if I tell my kids to get their ass down here, they don't, oh my God, Dad said ass. Like, they just know to hurry up a little bit more. That's just kind of the way I talk. But dealing with, obviously my fiance and I are together, but another man's children, it's just like, I don't ever want to disrespect that line. You know, although they're really my kids. We have them all the time. I still just kind of that balance of them kind of still getting to know me. Although, you know, our daughter's 12, other son's 10, other son's 9. So I've been with their mom for the last 6 years. So I've known all of them since they were 3, 4, and 6. You know, so more than half their lives, but it's just like finding that balance and understanding how to implement discipline, understanding how to talk to them and read each of them and understand each of them. And then if they're having attitudes and moments, it's maybe because they don't get to see their dad, you know what I mean? So it's just kind of finding that balance of, I see my twins every other week, and Ashton, our ones we have together, I see every day, but being able to kind of balance and how to talk and how to still get my point across and how not to let stuff slide when they're not 100% your kid. It took me a while to kind of find the balance.